Welcome back. Welcome back. This is episode 3 of our JavaScript training. We'll be looking at variables. We're looking at variables. Variables. I want you to look at variable as a container. Okay, I want you to look at variable as a container that that stores information. Okay, let's look at variable as a container that stores information. The information could later be reused and sometimes it could be changed. So that's basically what variable is in the simplest term. So now we'll be looking specifically at variables in JavaScript. Okay, we're looking at variables in JavaScript. There are three different ways. Okay, there are three different ways of declaring variables. We can use var to declare a variable. We can use const to declare a variable, and we can use let to declare a const and let were newly introduced a few years ago. But var, it has always been in use in JavaScript. So I'm going to show you the difference between the var, the const, and the let. So before I show you the differences, let's read out what we have here. It said JavaScript use let and const keywords to declare variables. The keyword const is used when the variable will not be reassigned to another value, whereas let is used if the variable might be reassigned later in the program. Variable is a reference to a memory location in the computer memory, usually for storage of data. Like I told you, it's about storing information, storing data for later use, or it could also be maybe changed later. Um, that's it. When we perform three actions with variable, we declare the variable, we put data inside the variable, and get the data inside the variable. Very simple. To assign a value to a variable, use the equal to. For example, we declare a variable, call it name, and another variable, call it age. So let's look at the variable naming rule. They can only contain the following character: letters, numbers, underscores, or dollar signs, but the first character cannot be. This is another one. They are case sensitive. So number one is different from number one. Look at this N. This one starts with capital letter N. This one starts with small letter N. Even though number one is number one, but the characters are different. This capital letter, this small letter. So this number one is not the same thing. So he said what? They are case sensitive. They cannot be JavaScript reserved words. There are a lot of JavaScript reserved words. You can Google it, go to ChatGPT. You have a lot of reserved words. Array is a reserved word. Uh, Object is a reserved word. I believe there are a lot of reserved words. So you can just Google. Choose clarity and meaning. Okay. Yes. Choose something that is clear and has meaning. Not that you want to declare a variable and you're giving it a name like JW895. Does it mean anything? No, it doesn't. So you have to make it meaningful, clear. And since they cannot contain space, variable name cannot contain space variable name that are composed of more than a word must be joined together. Okay, so that is what it's saying. When you have two words, number space one, You cannot have a variable like this, number space 1. You have to what? Write them together, which we won't be doing like this, though you can still do this. It is acceptable, but in terms of clarity, not. But for easy readability, number 1 is usually written as number 1. You can look at this. The 1 here, O, is capital letter, while the O here is what? Small letter. So this is what we call what? Camel case. Camel case. Or you use underscore. That's number underscore 1. So you use this camel case or underscore. The camel case number 1 convention is preferred by many JavaScript people. And sometimes I might decide to use the underscore. Depends on what I want to. So pick a naming convention and stick with it. Don't use camel case, then use underscore. Mixing them together is not really advisable. Your code will run, but it's not just advisable. Using 2 different styles. Just choose one. I want to make use of camel case, use camel case. I want to make use of underscore, use underscore. And I've written some things about variables, so you can come to Medium. I'll share this link with you, comment section or in the description. I think this was written. Look at that. Variable declaration, var versus let versus const. Examples. You can read about it. I wrote a lot about it. Then there's another one here also. Naming variables. You can read about it here. Very, very simple. Okay. So after this, you can just check. Okay, so let's play around with this. Let's go into our VS Code. Want to do a naming variables, right? Okay. So since we are done with this particular one, you can comment it out. I'll come here, comment it. So I'm trying to start all afresh from here. So now we want to look at how to declare variables. So I can start with var. Let me just say variable declaration. So I'll start with var. So for var, I can say var name is John, age is 30, var student is. So I don't want to use var. Then I'll come here, I'll use another one, let. I'll say let age be 30. I'll use another one, which is const. Say const. I can say const pi equals 3.14. Okay, so let me explain this. Var is a global variable. Yeah, let me put this there. Var is a global variable and can be redeclared and updated. Okay, var is what? A global variable. So that means this var can appear everywhere in this document. And I can change it, redeclare it, do anything to it. Then for let is a block scoped variable and can be updated but not redeclared. I will show you what this means also. Then for const is a block scoped variable and cannot be updated or. Okay, so let's look at this. I'm going to log this to the console, or let me you make use of console.table. Can say console.table. When I'm using console.table, I'll use this curly brace. Name age pi. So I'm going to show, I'm saying what? Table this inside the console. So it's going to come as a table this inside the console. So I have what? Name, I have age, and I have pi. So let's check what we have here. Going to refresh, inspect, go to the console, going to check. You can see pi is showing in 3.14. Age is what? 30. Name is John. As simple as that. So let's explain what happened there. We declare the variable. You use what? Var to declare this variable name. The name is the variable. And we are using the equal to sign to assign a new value, a value to this variable. That means we are storing an information, and the information is what? John. We can also call it what? Data. We are storing John, which is a data, inside the variable name so that we can make use of it elsewhere. So instead of me typing John here, yet I can simply call the variable that stored that information. So this name stored the information John, and it's calling it here. Then the second one, we have age. This time around, we are using let to declare the variable age, and we are storing an information. We are storing data inside this variable, which is age. Then we call the variable that has that information age. We did the same thing with pi, const pi 3.14. We stored it inside pi and we showed it here. We called it here. That's why we have this here. Okay, so we are done with that first part. Then now let's look at this. The var is a global variable. How do I explain that this is a global variable? Just read the links I showed you. This and I explained it very well here. Because there are some things I will be introducing that is going to it will be coming too fast for you. So I don't want to rush you, because to explain some of these things, I will have to start introducing if statement, for loop, or function. That, but I don't want to. But if you want to read more about them, just read these two guys. Understand? Okay? But I'll be able to explain this to you. We declared. See now, I declared this name as John. I can come tomorrow and say, no, I don't want to call this guy John. I can say, instead of me using John, I want to use Lagbaja. I will use Lagbaja, the declaration of variable. I've what? We declare the variable name Lagbaja. So let's look at this. Or where is it? I'll refresh. What am I having here? Name Lagbaja. Lagbaja has been redeclared with what? var. You can see that. Very simple. Which I will advise you against. You don't need to redeclare a variable, but you just have to have the knowledge that with var, you can redeclare a variable. The other one is what? You can update a variable. I can simply say name equals, I want to update it, that Lagbaja has changed his name from Lagbaja to Tamedo. This is what? Updating var. So I've changed what? I've updated this guy's name from Lagbaja to Tamedo. So let's refresh. So you can see the name has changed to what? Ahmed. You can see how that works. So now look at this other type, let. He said what? We cannot redeclare. It has been declared, but not redeclared. You cannot redeclare a let variable. So let's try to redeclare this. It shouldn't work. You can see it shouldn't what? Work. We are now what? Redeclaring it from 30 to 35. Let's see. This should not work because you can see identifier age has already been declared. So you cannot redeclare a let variable. So what are we going to do? Comment this out because it is not right. Then the next thing we'll do is let's update. Look at this explanation here. The let is a block scope variable and can be updated. You can update it. Age equals what? 35. So now let's see that has been updated. Age is now what? 35. So this has been updated. Then the last one, you cannot redeclare a const and you cannot update a const because from the word const, it means constant. Throughout your code, it will always be constant. No, pi 22/7, it will always be 3.14. So let's try to redeclare this. It will not redeclare. It's going to throw up an error. You can see pi has already been, cannot redeclare it. Okay, so let's comment this out. Then we'll move on to the next one. Say let's update the constant. You said something is constant. So why do you want to update it? So let's try it. Let's check it out. To refresh, you can see it's error, the type error and stuff like that. Assignment to constant variable, that's uncount type error. So that is not acceptable. So I'm going to comment this out. Right now, you have to know how these three variables work. This accept a lot of things. You can declare it, you can update it. Let, you can only update. Const, you can't update, you can redeclare. And there's one, and okay, for the okay. We look at this. This var has always been used for it has been used for a long while and it's still being used by some people. Few years ago, in ECMAScript 6, they introduced let and const. So right now, most programmers do not use var. But in legacy codes, like old codes, legacy codes, you are likely to see var, those codes. For current code bases, you'll be seeing let and in my own class, we'll be using let and const. We will not be using var because there's no need of making use of var again. Let and const can do everything. If I want something to be constant, I don't want it to be. I will simply use const. If I declare a variable as this and I want to update, I will keep updating. There's no need for me to redeclare. So this let and const, they are enough for us. You get that? They are enough for us. So just play around with this variable, know them, understand. Okay. So we'll stop it right here. We're going to end it right here. In our next class, we'll look at topics. Yeah, thank you.